was so busy that she never even noticed what was going on. But that day she came home early, and Daisy was crying so loudly I knew it was going to make her suspicious, so I hit her again and again until her tiny self was covered in injuries. When she was quiet, I breathed a sigh of relief until red started dripping on the floor, and that's when our mom walked in with a plate of apples and grapes. As soon as she saw us, her face went ghost white and she screamed. I was so scared of what her reaction would be that I didn't even notice Daisy had passed out beside me. Then my brother walked in. "Why did you make me do this? I effing hate you," I yelled while my mom tried to dial 911. I don't even know why I expected him to be honest. He turned to my mom and said, "She's dangerous." Except this time she was talking about me, not Daisy. When the ambulance arrived, they prioritized saving Daisy, but as they brought her to the hospital, I saw it. The flashing red and blue lights. It was the police. They took me in and questioned me, but I could tell they weren't believing a word I said. And when they left to talk to my mom, my fears were immediately confirmed, because that's when I saw one of the officers hugging Trevor and congratulating him on being the man of the house. He smirked. I spent that night in juvenile detention. It was the scariest night of my life. The room was cold and empty with just a thin mattress on a metal frame. I couldn't sleep at all. I just kept thinking about Daisy's face when I hit her. I kept seeing the blood on the floor, bright red against the beige carpet. I kept hearing my mom scream, high-pitched and terrified, and I kept feeling Trevor's hug when he told me he was proud of me. The next morning, a woman named Ms. Barbara came to talk to me. She said she was my caseworker. She had these really thick glasses and spoke super slowly like I wouldn't understand her otherwise. She asked me a bunch of questions about what happened with Daisy. I told her everything. About Trevor telling me to hurt Daisy because of her skin color. About him breaking my toys when I was little. About how I just wanted him to be nice to me. Ms. Barbara wrote everything down in this little notebook with a floral cover. Her face didn't change much, but I noticed her grip on her pen getting tighter, her knuckles turning white. When I finished talking, she just nodded and said she needed to speak with some people. Then she left me alone again, the door closing with a heavy thud behind her. Later that day, they moved me to a different facility. This one had other kids my age. The building was larger, with common areas and a cafeteria that smelled like overcooked vegetables. I didn't talk to any of them. I just sat in a corner and tried to make myself invisible, pulling my knees up to my chest and staring at the floor. A boy named Kendall tried to talk to me during lunch, but I just stared at my food tray. I couldn't eat anything. My stomach felt like it was tied in knots. The mashed potatoes and mystery meat looked like something from a nightmare. 3 days passed before I saw my mom again. When she walked into the visiting room, I burst into tears. I ran to hug her, but she didn't hug me back right away. Her eyes were red and puffy. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. Her usually neat hair disheveled, her clothes wrinkled. Eventually, she put her arms around me, but it felt different, hesitant, like she was afraid of me, like I was a stranger she didn't recognize anymore. She told me Daisy was going to be okay physically. She had a concussion and some bruises, but nothing permanent. I felt relieved, but still sick to my stomach. Mom said Daisy was staying with her friend Julia for now. Then she told me something that made my heart stop. Trevor had shown her text messages where I supposedly told him I was planning to hurt Daisy. Messages I never sent. Messages that painted me as some kind of monster who had been plotting this for weeks. "I never wrote those, Mom. Trevor made those up." I was practically shouting. A guard looked over at us, his hand moving to rest on his belt. Mom shushed me and said we needed to stay calm. She said Trevor had shown the police the messages too. That's why they were treating him like a hero. He had reported me before things got worse. According to him, he had been trying to talk me out of hurting Daisy for weeks. I couldn't believe it. Trevor had set me up completely. He had planned this whole thing from the beginning. Get me to hurt Daisy, then make it look like it was all my idea. And everyone believed him because he was older, because he was about to go to college, because he was the responsible one. The perfect son who was just trying to protect his little adopted sister from his troubled middle sister. After Mom left, I sat in my room trying to figure out what to do. I needed someone to believe me, but who would take the word of a 12-year-old who had already admitted to hurting a 4-year-old? I felt completely trapped. I lay on my bed staring at the ceiling, counting the water stains and trying not.
Join my subscription for part 3.